before we get into the basketball stuff, how did this game come apart? Obviously, it's pretty cool that you can give Wayne State an opportunity like this, but did that play a role in your history with them?
Oh, no question. This is, I think, maybe the third time we played them since I've been here. We're going to play a Division II team, and generally I play somebody that I have a connection to, whether it's a former player, former assistant, or Wayne State where I coached. So, happy to help them. Still have a lot of really good friends in Wayne. Many of them will be here cheering against me on Friday night.
What do you hope to get out of Friday? What do you hope to
There's a lot of different ways you can go about this preseason. Some teams, play 2 exhibitions against a non-D1. Some teams go the route of playing a couple close scrimmages. We've always decided to do one of each. I think they're both valuable. I think certainly was valuable for us to play Iowa State and see a different style, a different system, and I think it's also important and valuable to put the uniform on with the lights on one time before you really start the season for real. So especially for the new guys, it's a good opportunity to get out here in front of a crowd and play one time in the building before it starts to count.
How did you know the close scrimmage went?
I was happy with it. It ended up being a close game. We didn't shoot it particularly well, but Iowa State's defense, it becomes a little bit of a shock to us because of the way we defend. It's very different, and it was a shock to them because of what they saw from our end as well, compared to what they see in practice every day. But there were some late game situations that were really, really good for us that it's hard to simulate in practice. So those times are really valuable.
What's the overall health of the team?
Outside of Jason Green, everybody's relatively healthy. I hope it stays that way. And he goes back to the doctor tomorrow. Hopefully, gets his stitches out, and we can start his road to recovery after that.
Looking ahead with Florida A&M, what's a non-conference? You always have something that you want to challenge your team with. Is there something specific with Florida A&M that you thought might be a good challenge?
They're gonna provide some full court pressure, maybe a little bit of zone, things that you're going to see once conference play rolls around. But the non-conference portion of the schedule, you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to get better, you want to find out different areas that maybe that your team is exposed by the teams that you play against, that you can hopefully clean up before conference play begins. And bottom line, you got to win. I mean, that's the other thing. To build a strong resume, you have to take care of your business, especially on your home floor.
You pick apart the Iowa State film. What did you see in your guys' response to the ball not going in according to what they're used to, I guess?
I felt like we still defended at a high level even when we weren't making shots. And as you guys have heard it over and over from me. I'm into getting a good shot. You can't always control whether they go in, but you also watch as guys grow and mature. How do they react to a missed shot, and are they able to kind of get over that play and get on with the rest of the game? And this group's mature enough to do that. In particular, Trey and Baylor didn't shoot it great that game, but they did a lot of other things to impact the game and impact winning, which from our perspective, that's what we're really looking for.
With Stephen, Trey, and Baylor, you got 3 guys, really good shooters, really good playmakers. What does that picture kind of look like, and how have they developed that chemistry throughout the preseason?
It's been amazing. It's really kind of happened organically from the jump, from the day Stephen walked in the door. Baylor and Trey, I thought, had great chemistry last year with the group that they were playing with, and Stephen's really added to that, and his ability to play off the ball and be unselfish. He really has very little of an agenda for himself. So those 3 have worked really, really well together, and it seems like it's a different guy every day. One of those guys gets 9 or 10 assists in practice, and the other 2 guys make a bunch of shots, and then the roles reverse the next day. So it's been fun to see it develop, and hopefully it continues to grow.
Talking about this team for months now, the new additions, coming off the Elite 8 run, and how exciting is it to have it finally be here and be able to get going?
Well, it's more exciting for them than it is for me. I think as coaches, you always want more time and you always want more repetition, but especially with our returners, Kalk and Baylor and Trey, like they're ready to play. They've had enough of me and enough of practice. They're ready to play games and be evaluated against somebody else. So it'll be exciting to get the lights on Friday night, get a crowd out here, and one more preparation before it starts to count on Tuesday.
Now that you're kind of geared up for the season, pretty much,
You've been mostly healthy throughout the offseason. How do you feel the impact of those Bahamas practices and games has had an impact now on what you're seeing on the floor right now?
Well, what it does is it allows you maybe to go a little bit faster, especially for the younger guys. There's so much learning that takes place and stopping and starting early in the practices when guys are learning positioning and technique. A lot of that was in the rearview mirror when we started practice, so we could hit it a little bit quicker for shorter burst. So I think it's maybe allowed us to move a little bit faster. But now we also took some time off that we normally wouldn't take off at the start of school, just to kind of give some guys time away from the game and rest their legs, rest their bodies, and get ready for the start of practice. But I like where we're at right now from a conditioning standpoint. I think we're in a good place. I think guys' bodies feel relatively good, and now we just need to clean up a few things as we get ready to play.
Has there been a surprise at all, whether it be someone's play or just overall in the preseason?
You know, probably. I was just talking to my staff about this the other day. You know, we've had some practices that are better than others, but through 24 practices, we really haven't had a bad one, which is, I don't know that I have ever been able to say that in my 30-plus years as a coach. So, you know, and that's attributed to the leadership on our team. You know, Kalk and Trey and Baylor and Steven, in large part, they're going to determine how the practice is going to go, and they're going to get it back on the rails if it goes off the rails. And they've been able to do that, and their collective leadership has been outstanding. But that's probably the biggest surprise. And then, you know, there's the egos on this team. There aren't a lot of them, and you've talked to these guys, and you know they're about winning, they're about the right stuff. And I think we understand it could be a different guy on any given night, but we have to play together if we're going to be successful, and this team's bought into that.
Back up. Mitch Balance working with Ashford a little bit here. What does he bring to him?
You think he's teaching him defense?
A lot of basketball.
I hope
I'm not watching defense.
I hope they're shooting. I hope Mitch is working on the shooting. Now, actually, I joked with Mitch. They were doing some defensive drills the other day, and I said, "You're teaching him defense, really? That's where this is gone. I guess it's do what I say, not as I did." One of those deals. But Mitch has been terrific. The guys absolutely love him, and you know he's been great for me. Anytime you can have a former player that's not playing for you now, and you have a great relationship and friendship. You know, he can challenge some of the things that I've done for a long time that I assumed everybody was good with, and he's been able to, you know, take a stand and say, Mac, you know, why are we doing this? Are we doing it because you've always done it, or are we doing it because it's the best thing for our team? So I've appreciated him being candid with me, but he's been an absolute home run hire for us.
Who's a better shooter?
I'm not getting into that, Tom.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, good.